Hurley! What's good, everybody? It's your boy Roman Puss, and today I want to try out something new for you guys. It's kind of something I want to start doing, but if it starts going poorly, then I probably won't continue to do it, and I just want to test out and see how you guys like it. But I kind of want to start going over the new chapters each week and every week, and kind of just go over like what's happening, like what I think of, and like my impressions on like what's happening and what's going to be coming up. So yeah, so this is like completely manga spoilers, so if you don't read the manga, like, you better yeet up out now, because this is definitely going to be like going over the information in the most recent chapters. So stay out of here if you are not reading or you don't want to be spoiled. Other than that, let's get into it and kind of see like what we have here. So last week we were left off with the amazing shocker that Kanjuro was the betrayer, like he was the traitor. That's how all the information he was, at some point he ended up serving him once his parents died. So we got to that, and then we left off with that amazing panel of Kid, Law, and Luffy going towards the Beast Pirates, those 3 ships. I think it was just 3 that showed up and were ready to fight. So now we bust into this chapter and we start off. We didn't get to see really Shinobu and where she was last time, and now we finally get a little answer of what happened, because she was with Momonosuke at the time. And now we finally start off, like, it first shows Shinobu wrapped up with snakes, like, that were drawn by Kanjuro, and then it shows Kanjuro holding Momonosuke, all confused on what's going on and why there's people appearing. So this brings us up. We get to the Straw Hats. We're looking at the Beast Pirate ships. The Straw Hats are confused because not everyone's there. There's like, where's everyone? Where's all the ships that were supposed to be here? What happened? Meanwhile, Kanjuro's confused because he's like, what happened? Why did the plan fail? Why are there people here? So there's all sorts of confusion, and no one really knows what's going on, but what they do know is that they want to fight the Beast Pirates. So the Straw Hats are in that, and we know where they go from there. After they sort out the confusion, they're just like, we know we need to battle. Then Kinemon goes and apologizes to Luffy and says their plan has been leaked to the enemy by Kanjuro. And Luffy kind of is confused, shocked, a little bit, like the normal Luffy response. Then they go, they don't know what happened, and then we see 2 Beast Pirates with the Smile Zone users. We see one guy with like a hawk one with kind of a weird bird on his head, and then a butterfly lady. I actually think they look really cool. It's really good artwork. They're basically saying that they have destroyed all the bridges, they sunk all the ships that were there overnight, and all because of the leaked information, and they think they have the upper hand. And then the one continues to mention that, just to like rub salt in their wounds, he even spreads the word of the alliance between the Beast Pirates and Big Mom Pirates. So this shocks them. Like, Kinemon just feels so bad at this point. Like, they show his face of like shock, and like he feels terrible. Then once this is announced that the Big Mom and Kaido have an alliance, we see the shock between Kid and Law. It shows their 2 faces. They're extremely like nervous and worried about terrible things that are going to happen. Law speaking under his words, saying Big Mom, he's probably thinking back to what did Luffy do on Whole Cake Island that would cause her to come here. So although he did know he was going there because they went to grab Sanji. So Law, they're kind of like all fed up with that. Then we finally get into the battle portion of this. The Beast Pirates get ready to fight the 3 pirates, and they don't think they're even a big deal, and then all of a sudden we get Luffy, we get Kid, and we get Law all ready to pounce on their ships. This is ready to go like full out brawl. All of a sudden those 3 end up on that pirate ship, the leading Beast Pirate ship. They all use their crazy signature moves. We have a Punk Rotten from Kid. We have Bound Man from Luffy. He automatically goes G4. He doesn't even hold back. They're ready to go. And then Law just uses his room, and yeah. Then all of a sudden we see a big kaboosh. The pirate ship just goes boom, and they just, like, the beast pirates are all unafraid. They're like, oh no, these guys are really huge, they're looking pissed, blah blah blah. I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, a bunch of these like nobodies aren't gonna stand a chance. What I really love about at this current stage of the Straw Hats is they are actually very strong. Right now, like, it used to be almost anyone would be posing a threat, like usually underlings. But now, just unless they're the top head, like Kaido or Big Mom, usually no one's like posing that big of a threat. Honestly, I'm kind of curious to know how big King and Queen are going to be of a threat to Luffy and them, if they even end up fighting them somehow. So, it's insane, it's really cool, so we'll see. It's nice to see the like growth of the Straw Hats throughout the show, so I've loved this, it's amazing. Now, after the ship was destroyed, the Beast Pirates are freaking out. They're calling them to like start like doing something, start shooting them, like finally like get back at them. Hello, like what are you doing? And then at this moment, all of a sudden, Kyoshiro shows up, or as we found out last time, is Denjiro. He shows up. The Beast Pirates are all happy. They're so excited that they come in and are ready to save them. But little do they know, they think they're saving him, and then all of a sudden, Denjiro goes and slices like their ship nearly in half. And they're like, what's going on? What are you doing, boss? Like, you're supposed to be on our side. And then he in a funny way goes, sorry, I didn't mean to sink your ship. I just disabled one of the cannons that were aimed at me. Like, haha, funny. He goes, he slices that, and then all of a sudden, after that, while everyone's confused, we get some of the other 9 scabbers like claim, they're like, be careful, he's really strong, watch out for him, we don't know what he's gonna do. Then at that moment, he goes and asks to join their army. Now this confuses everyone. Everyone's in shock. You get the faces, you have the other 9 red scabbers, it shows their faces, and it shows the beast pirates are all in shock, like, what's going on here? And at this point, this is where he's revealing his identity. He goes and he brings up a story about the Mountain God incident, to which Kinemon says in response that there's only one man who knows about this at this point, and then Kinemon finally realizes that that is Denjiro and he's alive. Denjiro, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. So now, very excited that he's alive, Denjiro's here, he saves the day, kind of. Not really, I mean, I'm sure they could have fought, but now they have a bunch of people here, and it's amazing. Then Denjiro brings up that the fact that he had to keep his identity safe, he couldn't reveal him all that time, he had to stay under, like, in disguise, even behind, like, 2 Kinemon, otherwise, because he had a feeling that there was a traitor behind, like, the 9 scabbers or something. So he was already kind of leading on to that, and he, like, was telling them that he had to keep his identity a secret in order to protect them and work undercover throughout all those years, and he had to protect Komurasaki. Now, with this and his arrival, he brings along with him the 1,000 samurai from the Rosetsu town prison, and then the 1,200 soldiers to the overall army. He has freed them from the capital and brought them with him to help fight in the war. But it doesn't end there. Now, this is the part where Denjiro brings up to Kinemon, saying how smart Kinemon was, that he kept everyone from going to the correct port, which they thought the port, what they didn't understand was that with the new picture from Yasui, when he died, that new picture, Kinemon actually read incorrectly. They were supposed to cut out the middle part, which was Habuminato. They were supposed to cut out the Bumina. So then they would be left with Hato, which was a completely different port. Kinemon, I don't know if you guys have seen the memes by now. As you can see, he was very confused. This is the funniest part, that he misinterpreted the port that they were supposed to go to. So he and the 9 scabbers went to that direct port, and then everyone else went to the correct port, to which we find out that they are all still alive and ready to go and ready to fight. So with this, we have a total of 5,200 men, 5,200, ready to go and ready to fight the war and raid Onigashima. So Kinemon is in shock, and all of a sudden we see Kanjuro's in shock and is like, what is going on? And Orochi misjudged like the complete distance of all of this and like what was happening, and now they're screwed. So now we get everyone is ready to go, and we found out like all those troops that are hidden, the other 4,200 troops, they're hidden in the forest of the maple forest that Lord Yasui loved. which is at the wharf of Port Havu, which is this kind of wharf, like word. I'm not sure how that's interpreted correctly, but yeah, so they're all hidden away and they're actually good to go. Like we found out that they were like safe and sound and ready to fight. Then we get this giant panel. It's excellent. We see all these ships ready to go, loaded with people. We see the old Yakuza, Hyogoro, and everyone's like, it's extremely cool. I love this scene. It's like the war is finally starting. I'm so happy we moved past this, and then it all just seems like Kinemon is just like, his face is all sorts of kind of confused, and everyone inserted those little like math algorithm like things of like his confusion. It was so funny. So with that, we end there. That was the final end of the chapter. I love this. I'm so glad we're past that flashback, because I can only handle flashbacks for so long, but once we're finally in this, like, I got like extreme like joy after reading this and what was happening. It's so nice to know everyone's alive. And now these next chapters are going to be crazy of what's going on, like what's going to happen. We have to see how Big Mom's going to impact. Is Katakuri going to come back into this fight? We don't know if he was on the ship. He could have been injured and they could have just been storing him under the ship. We don't know, unless he is back at Toddleland. So he could potentially show up. I could honestly see something maybe like he would show up and save Luffy in some way, shape, or form. Then we had those giant monsters. I don't remember whatever those things were called. Those giant monster things. Who knows how big of a threat those are. We haven't seen all of the like Flying Six characters. We've only Seen X-Drake and Page 1, and we don't know the full extent of King and Queen's abilities. And then we have Kaido in his hybrid form to see how much and how strong he is and what kind of threat. So from here, it looks like we're going to be shipping out to Onigashima and then be surprising Orochi. So I think this is going to be insane. I'm very excited to see what happens. I love this manga, and yes, it's going to be fantastic. So that's what happens throughout this chapter. Be sure to let me know if you guys enjoyed this. If you didn't, like, that's fine. I'm just trying it out. If it's like goes poorly, then we'll probably not do it again. But otherwise, I just kind of plan on going over these chapters and like letting you know like kind of my thoughts and how I feel about this stuff. Because sometimes I get super excited and can't like hold back, and even to the point where I'm like screaming and like hyper clapping at some points. So yeah, so that's what I have. That's the end of chapter 975, and I can't wait to see our raid next week. Hopefully we're not on break next week. So I think one thing that was hard to keep up with Wano is all of the names. There's very many different parts going on in this story, and kind of a lot to keep up with. So it requires a lot of attention and like understanding what is going on. I even have to go back and read some reread some stuff like several times to get what is happening. So with that, that's what I have for you guys. I'm your boy Roman Puss. I'm gonna be taking off. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. So yeah, hurley, peace.